It's time to shine under the lights here, and welcome to round 5 of the Speed Force Races Season 18 for Division 1. We're live from the Bahrain International Circuit for what promises to be a crucial chapter in this championship fight. 18 minutes of qualifying are ahead of us for this session. The 5.4 kilometer desert layout is all about traction zones, ERS management and high speed overtaking as well, with 3 DRS zones, a heavy braking zones in towards turn 1, 4 and turn 11. And this track, this circuit that rewards bravery and racecraft as well, tyre wear can be absolutely brutal and key tonight, so the strategy could mean everything. And also coming into towards night, there's been a major shift at the top of the championship standards now. Marinimo leads the championship on 78 points, and after 4 rounds, 2 podiums and rock-solid form, and now the man to beat. Let's see if Marinimo can keep it up. He's got no wins this season, just like Kaname did last season until he won in, I think, Las Vegas or Japan, all the way towards the end of the season too. So he's now championship leader with no wins, but Jensen's absent last week in Japan. His perfect start took a hit. He drops to second on 70 points and will need to come back strong tonight as well if he wants to try and get the championship back away. But the chase pack is stacked. Velocio Jr. and Fireblades are locked together on 69 points. Fireblades is still searching for that elusive win, the one he's been waiting for since season 16. He's had 3 podiums in 4 races, and he's also looking like a serious title contender too, like he was last season. And also, let's not forget the man that won the Japanese Grand Prix. It's reserve driver, now full-time, Nico Rosberg, who stole the show, coming from the back of the grid to snatch victory of Suzuka after a last-lap battle with Fireblaze. Nordus, who looked set for the win in early stages, dropped off late and missed the podium completely due to brutal tyre wear. Unfortunately, his tyres couldn't hold on for that stint length. And on board with Laser, as he's the first one to cross the line and start a flying lap. But in the constructors, it's neck and neck. Alpine lead on 139 points, just 2 points clear of Ferrari on 137. So Alpine and Ferrari, they're looking super close in the battle, and Laser goes deeper towards turn 1 and it validates 2 to add to his woes and misery of a start of a lap time there. So Laser will have to back out, but luckily in validating in the first few corners means that you haven't taken too much life out of your tyres. But maybe Laser is, because he's still pushing, so I wonder if he's going to use this lap as a reference point or guide to see where the track limits are around here. And of course, sweeping through turn 6 and turn 7 now flat out, of course, on this game, which is going to be quite interesting. Maybe lift off in the race, just try and preserve tyres and cool them down. And here is a double left-hander, turn on the turn 10. It's braking a turn at the same time, essentially, because you want to be careful with the front locking on the inside there too. Snatch a break, it could cost you hugely as well, because out of turn 10, you get the DRS zone headed towards turn 11. So any mistake through there could not bode well for the race. And coming through turn 12, where we saw plenty of people spin before in the past game, but on this game I don't think nobody should be skidding, because there's plenty of grip as well in store on these cars, plenty of downforce on these ground effect cars, as now we head towards the final corner. But of course, Laser isn't on a lap time. The Bahrain Grand Prix has been around since 2004, I believe it has. Or was that Qatar? I think Qatar's been around since 2004 in MotoGP. I got confused between the two there. So I think Bahrain itself has been around since 2004. And Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello dominated that one with a Ferrari 1-2 in those previous years. Then Alonso as well, as Yusuf Farouk goes quickest with a 28.1, so he's the first one to try and set a lap time on the board then, as we've got somebody in the final corner who's gone for a little bit of a spin, have they? I just saw somebody on the full chat map have a mistake. Was that the Alpine? It was his teammate of who was his teammate? Jensen in the Alpine behind him, who made a mistake. Oh, Fireblaze goes off the track there. He's in P2, but Nico Rosberg obliterates the rest of the competition, and he's currently 1 second quicker than Fireblaze in P2. Marinimo, the championship leader, goes up into P2 for Ferrari with a 27.752, so what, 7 tenths back as well. So Nico Rosberg, who started last back in Japan, but this time I don't think he wants to do that, because the competition around here is so key as well, so compact, all these drivers. Nordus goes up into P2 in the Kicksaba with a 27.392. Also looking to bounce back after what happened in Japan, because it's so difficult on pad these days on this game. And I know from experience as well, because I'm on a pad too. The tyre wear is just so high, and you can't do anything about it, unfortunately. Even if you're good setup, managing tyres, you're always going to fade away towards the end of the first stint. So how are you going to mitigate that? That's the question, but unfortunately we don't know the answer. There's the number 77 on the back of Norris's car. But unfortunately for him, if he loves that number or not, I'm not quite sure, he can't use the number 77 on the next game because Valtteri Bottas is back and also Sergio Perez, who was signed for Cadillac as well for the next season. So that should be very interesting between two great drivers, two number 2 drivers, as Jensen goes off the track again. As President Elite goes up into P2, that's not a bad attempt there from President Elite, who is a Division 2 driver, I think. And there he is in the Red Bull, 2 laps on his soft compound tyres. Glock goes up into P4 with a 27.596 for the Kick Sauber. It's the second row for Kick Sauber. So the 2 Kick Saubers looking good so far. They had a good result back in Japan. Norris, I know he would have wanted more considering where he was in the first stint, but not bad to be in P4 considering the circumstances with the tyre wear. So I think both Saubers there running good so far. As Veloce Jr. comes towards turn 11, Luis, I'm not the person to ask, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure. Basically, every Wednesday at 7:30, there is a race for Division 1. If you want to reserve, you've got to ask beforehand. I'm not quite sure if they'll allow you now because the admins, one of them is Laser, and he's currently racing. So if you really want to race, you've got to sign up beforehand. Ask Sonic Hawk and Dan, whoever your league manager is, and let them know because I'm not quite sure if you have the pace or not to race in Division 1. Maybe he's a reserve driver, but full time, I'm not quite sure. So I'm not the person to ask about that one. Majority of people are back in the pit lane then as they complete the first round of runs then. So we've got Laser out there once again in the Aston Martin, followed by AEW's Rising Star. Rising Star is back as well after missing the Japanese Grand Prix. And someone who is very quick and competitive, but sometimes he may struggle late on the Grand Prix. That's his weakness, unfortunately. That's his Achilles heel, and he really does struggle with tyre wear as well. Not the first driver I've seen struggle with tyre wear. He has formidable pace, but you'll notice as well late stages where he drops backwards with these tyre problems as well. So I'm not quite sure if it's a setup thing. Like I've said over the past couple of races, maybe more than that. I've said it as well in the last game. So it must be a race pace thing for Rising Star, where he just struggles in general. I'm not quite sure if his driver style is not suited towards the car, his setup, etc., the track knowledge as well. Maybe everything combined for Rising Star there to not have the perfect balance of setup for the car. But I'm going up with Hurricane. There he is in the McLaren, the 2-time champion, running the chrome livery as well. Look at that as well, nicely blended in as Hurricane's 4/10 up in this little setup, but quite a bizarre place to be invalidating there in towards turn 13. Not many people I've seen invalidate on the inside, so that's quite bizarre indeed. Maybe on the outside I can get away with, you can get away with that, but on the inside, yeah, not many people do that. So a rookie error there for Hurricane. He'll be absolutely frustrated whilst his teammate of Nico Rosberg is currently on provisional pole. We've got Laser out there so far. It's going to be a 28.3 in the first sector. Of course, he hasn't got a lap time to his name, so we're trying to get on the board as we head down towards turn 8 again. Let's see how he takes this one. Remember back in 2020 when Danny Kvyat and Lawrence Stroll made contact through there, and Lawrence Stroll was upside down as well, I believe. As Danny Kvyat also, yeah, with that contact with Roman Grosjean. Remember that back in 2020 with Grosjean's fireball? Wow, that will be remembered forever as well, and it really shows you as well that how safety has come so far from the past, and we're so glad we've got these safety components as well to make the drivers more safer. As Laser sets a 6.186. I remember I think majority of us watched that live, didn't we? And when I saw that, it was unbelievable indeed. He was in the fire for about 27.8 seconds and he survived as well, because the crash could have put him unconscious, but he was still awake and luckily escaped from the fire and lived to tell the tale. Here comes Laser towards the line then. It's going to be a 28.2 and he's a whole second off the pace there. Is Laser Lord. It's P10 only for him. Of course, transitioning on this game, he has been struggling quite a lot. As here comes the Rising Star. Here comes the racing bull of Rising Star towards the final corner. Let's see where the man from Saudi Arabia can go. He's about to pop that RB up towards P3. Not bad there from Rising Star at 27.317. And he goes ahead of Nordis, who's currently on an out lap. So we've got plenty of people on flying laps. One of them's Nico Rosberg, but Nico has invalidated on his lap time. Mo Nemo is coming towards the end of the first sector. Let's see where Fireblaze is. There he is in the Alpine driver. And he's the man who is currently sitting pretty in P4 so far. Picked up a few podiums along the way as he makes his way now towards turn number 11, I believe it is, and turn 12. This flat-out right-hander in these Formula 1 modern-day cars. I remember as well games ago where plenty of people struggled, and Fireblaze is 6/10 up. Blaze is losing 4/10 because he's using hot lap instead of medium, says Martin. Good spot there. I'm not quite sure how you spotted that, but that's a very good spot indeed. Here comes Fireblaze towards the final corner. He goes. Let's see where he can pop that Alpine. Can he get himself near the top of the field? He goes up into P7. Only P7. Yeah, just stays at P7 there. P5, sorry, just updated there. So Fireblaze goes in between both Kicksabers, ahead of Glock, behind Nordus. Here comes Nordus though. The Kicksaber of the Norwegian driver, looking very strong so far, looking very handsome. Very handy, as he makes his way now towards the end of the middle sector. He's currently 3/10 up, is Nordus. This could be on provisional pole. Can he keep it nice and tidy? Does he have the pace? Does he have the tyres? Coming towards the end of the back straight, coming towards the final corner now. Let's see how he takes it into fourth gear. Rides the curve. You can see the back of the car wanting to complain, but he steps on the power. And let's see where Nordus could go as he crosses the line right now. It is P2 for Nordus there. Lost a bit of time towards the final sector, but P2, that's an absolute valiant effort there from the Kicksabber. And let's see what the Red Bull driver could do as well. President League coming towards the end of the middle sector we go. The Swedish driver is a 10th down, unfortunately, on his previous best then, as he continues all the way up towards the back straight. He goes. Let's see what President League could do, because I remember him in Division 2. He was quite... He did have his moments to President Elite, but he has won a Grand Prix Division 2 so far. Here he is towards the line. He goes as he crosses it right now. It is P3, or stays P3. What a brilliant effort there from President Elite indeed to go up into P3. And let's see if anybody else can try and make their mark towards the front of the field. I don't think they can. Jensen, however, coming down towards turn 1. Well, Jensen's a driver, obviously. But massive snap through turn 2 and turn 3. But he's a driver who's absolutely on it. And when he's on it, he's unstoppable. But sometimes he can make the odd mistake now and then. He can be absolutely dominant and an unstoppable force. But on the rare occasion, he does struggle. And maybe this is one of his tracks where he struggles. Hasn't got a lap on the board so far. Coming through turn 6 and turn 7, headed out towards 8. He goes hard on the brakes. Back on the power once again. Nice traction out of turn 8 there. Going down towards 9 and 10. In towards this double left-hander he goes. Look at that, takes it very nicely indeed. Slows the car down, uses all the curb on the exit he can get away with. With 5 minutes left to go in the session, Jensen is in desperate need of a flying lap around here as he heads down towards turn 11, taking a very wide angle indeed, as we see many people do in the past. Trying to maximise the exit, coming towards turn 12 now. Flat out corner. Barely approaches 7th gear there. 5.9 in the middle sector there for Jensen as he now comes through turn 13. It looks like a very clean lap so far, other than the mistake in P2, or turn 2, shall I say. That's where he made a big mistake, but here he is towards the final corner. I think Jensen's more focused on getting a lap time on the board, as he needs to do. Here he is towards the line. He goes. Let's see what lap time it is. It's going to be a 27.6, and he pops himself up into P8. So not really Jensen territory here in Bahrain. But does he have enough time to get back in and go back out? McLaren goes off the track there. That could be Nico Rassenberg just making headway there for Jensen. But of course, Jensen has just completed his lap. So what's happened to Nico? He's off the track still. There he is. He's going to disqualify himself. He is. Nico Rassenberg is going to disqualify himself from this session. Wait 10 seconds and his car should be removed now. No? Yes, now. So Nico Rassenberg is going to start from last to first. It worked in Japan, but will it work here in Bahrain? There's plenty of chances to make overtakes happen here in Bahrain. You've got 3 DRS zones, unlike Japan. Japan only has 1, and very difficult to overtake indeed. So let's see how Nico does this. Can he do it once again? That could be the very interesting session. Who is the end deleting my messages? Not me, because I can't delete messages because I'm not an admin, so it's not me for sure. But here comes Jensen coming towards the middle set. 7/10 down, of course. He just completed a flying lap. But whoever is deleting Martin's comments, he hasn't really said anything bad, so I'm not quite sure why his comments are being deleted there. But everybody is in the pit lane and waiting for the last lap attack. And by the way, guys, as well, just to reiterate, or I'm not even reiterated it yet, but I'm going to say right now that I am ill. I've got a bit of a sore throat, hence why I'm still a bit drowsy or tired. I've got a blocked nose as well, so you've got to bear with me as well towards this race. I'm not going to be 100% like I always am. But I missed two. I had commentary yesterday and on Monday, but I missed both of them, so I thought I'd try and do my best here at SFR. But what I like about it too, there are 16 drivers and no attendance hasn't been looking too good so far this season, and that has been a concern. But luckily, we're trying our absolute best, try and get as many drivers as we can. I thought that this Lays goes up into P8, and Notice then is on provisional pole, so he's on pole by about 400 of a second, then President to P2, right start P3, as we got the main contenders then out on the circuit. There's Joram in the Mercedes. And I believe he spun in the final corner, didn't he, at the Japanese Grand Prix? No puncher, he just spun by himself. He's also had a bit of a torrid time this season, just trying to get grips to the game. I think we all are, really. People on the pad are really struggling, except Nordus, of course, so not really an excuse. Well, it is an excuse, because maybe Nordus has found some tricks up his sleeve, I'm not quite sure. Maybe he practiced a lot more, but people like me, I am definitely struggling in this game. I have no pace whatsoever. My best lap time around here was 27.3, and that's been beaten by Nordus plus the lead. So I could be P3 right now if I took part in this Bahrain Grand Prix. But anyways, Nordus is on pole with a 27.1. Elite's in P2 with a 27.1. Right Star 2/10 further back ahead of Moenimo. The championship leader is in P4. Here comes Mercedes towards the end of his lap. Let's see what Yaro could do as he makes his way now towards the line. He goes, it's going to be a 27.7. He goes up into P8 ahead of Laser as well by under a tenth of a second. There is 1 minute left in qualifying, and so far the heavy hitters are on the circuit. Nordus is starting his final flying lap. Let's see if he can try and extend the margin as we head down towards tail. When he goes, lays the brakes, hits the apex very nicely, scooping the car. Nice traction through turn to a turn through. Looks very smooth so far as the DRS is wide open on this second straight, headed down in towards turn 4 we go. Breaking the 100 meter board, slow the car down. A bit of hesitation there as well. Headed down in towards turn 4, not really accurate in turns or turning in as we head through turn 6 and turn 7. He is 2,000 up in the first sector as he smooths through turn 6 and turn 7, headed down in towards 8. Harder brakes once again, back on the traction, back on the throttle. Very nicely through there as well. No signs of wheel spin as we head down in towards turn on and turn 10. Lock up as well. You can see him literally drifting as well as he has a bit of a moment out of turn 10. He goes DRS wide open on this back straight as we head down towards 11 we go. Break into the black box, down to the gears, in towards 4. Does he use the exit curve? He doesn't. I don't think you want to use the exit curve that much on this game. I don't think I use it either, to be fair, as we head towards turn number 13. 500 up, under a tenth up, or half a tenth up in the middle sector is Nordus as he continues his way down towards the back straight. Here he is towards the final corner. He goes down towards the final corner, in towards 4, back to the throttle. And let's see, can Nordus extend his pole time? It's going to be a 27.0, and it is pole by about a tenth of a second, but Moenimo goes up into P to the championship leader. Fireblades is up into P4. What a fantastic lap time from Nordus. He's on absolute fire this season, is Nordus, but his race pace still needs to be rectified. Rise and Star unfortunately has invalidated on his lap time, and here comes the Ferrari driver of Velocio Jr. coming down towards the final corner. Let's see what he could do as he makes his way now out of the corner. Let's see if the Ferrari can get himself inside the top 10. About to find out right now. He can. Up into P8 he goes in the Ferrari, and I think qualifying is done and dusted. But Hurricane, however, in 30th place, really struggling on this game. He's the two-time champion of SFR, sorry. Here comes Hurricane towards the line. He goes up into P10, just gets himself inside the top 10 there. What a qualifying that was. And I think that is it. We've got MDJ out there in 14th place. Former, I think, Division 1 championship contender in season 14. He stays at P14, and that is it. Adams didn't say lap time either in the Mercedes, and that'll conclude it. I do miss, well, season 16 and 17 as well. I really do miss that, but that is it for qualifying. It is noticeable by half a tenth of a second ahead of Moenimo. Presently to P3 ahead of Glock. Kick Sauber looking very strong so far here in Bahrain. Fireblazer P5 ahead of Rising Star. Savage is 7th ahead of Lochio Jr. Jensen 9th ahead of Harry Kane. And there are the rest of the field. Nico Rosberg is going from last to first. Made it work in Japan, but can the young German do it again? Can he make it 2 for 2? If he does, well, that'll be quite scary for the rest of the field to try and defend that. I'm looking back, I don't think we had a Bahrain Grand Prix last season, so that's why I don't remember a race in Bahrain last season. I'm trying to think who won in Bahrain, but I don't think we had one at all. Harry Kane was the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix in season 16 as well. That's a special championship season where Harry Kane had a line to start because it was him versus Hazara. But Hazara had a penalty. Harry Kane was catching up towards his Norwegian compatriot and beat it towards the line. Later finished in second place as well. I remember that race clear as day as well. That was a good race in Bahrain in season 16. Harry Kane, of course, his dominant year with 11 wins and 15 podiums to his name. On paper, he looked like he dominated, but in the race, he literally had to work for it. There was no point in the season where he dominated. He had to work for it. But we're heading towards this 29-lap race ahead of us. It could be a yeah, about that as well. I think it is a one-stop if you can make the tyres last and make it work and have the pace towards the end. But some drivers might be on the flip side and be looking at a two-stop strategy in terms of power players. So I think some drivers might fall into that trap of doing a two-stop strategy. But if you could do a one-stop, you'd be laughing all the way to the bank on that one. So I know I had to do a two-stop, unfortunately, around this track. It's just an absolute tyre killer and a pain in the backside too to contend with tyres. But hopefully it'll be a good race. I think Bahrain's always been a good race for me. I do like this track in terms of watching it for league racing. We've had plenty of great league races here in the past. Maybe in real life it got a bit boring because the scorching temperatures, and of course being the desert and the modulation of the cars as well, the handling of the cars in real life. We barely saw any overtakes. Do you know what? I barely remember the Bahrain Grand Prix from this season. I know Piastri won, but I don't remember anything else that happened. That's how bad my memory is in terms of 2025. But of course, we know what happens in 2014. The duel in the desert between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Excellent battle that was between the two. And Hamilton came out top ahead of Rosberg and Perez too. Finished in P3 for Force India. After moving from McLaren, had a very bad race in 2013 because him and Jenson Button kept making contact in towards turn 4. Then 1 year later, Perez moved to Force India, scored in his second race for Force India as well. So that's a good story to tell. Then, of course, been from Force India to Racing Point. But you know what's good? You know what's funny about it as well? That going to Racing Point, so go to Red Bull the next season, was actually better for him because Racing Point were looking good in 2020, didn't they? They got called a pink Mercedes. Perez won one race in Bahrain, and unfortunately, it is a lobby restart. Everybody is leaving the session. I want to keep the stream up as much as I can, so I don't want to restart the game because that means it will restart the stream. I want to keep the stream fluently going as well. My voice is already starting to go, and we're not even started the race yet. So Perez back at Cadillac. Yep, I did mention that earlier on the stream as well, and I'm very excited too because both drivers deserve an opportunity because people think of Perez happened to be Red Bull, but it wasn't him, it was Red Bull's problem, the second driver curse problem as well. And you got to remember as well what he did in the past, made his debut in 2011 for Sauber, scored a few top 10s as well. The 2012 got the podium I think 3 times, Canada, Monza and Malaysia, almost scored a win in Malaysia too against Fernando Alonso. He's always been a very strong midfield driver as well, and when he's at the top of his A game, can deliver too. He's had, I think, a few wins in Red Bull, and finished runner-up in second place against Max Verstappen in 2023 as well. So yeah, he is a very, very good choice, I dare say, for Cadillac, and Valtteri Bottas too. Do you know what's funny as well? There is 2 number 2 drivers going for Cadillac, so I wonder what's going to happen. Who is going to become the number 1 driver in Cadillac? I'm just very happy that both drivers are back, of course. Bottas and Perez. Oh, don't leave the session there. Right guys, because of this break, or because of this delay, I will be back with you momentarily. It looks like a stranger's joined the lobby, Wilner. But of course, we started down in 17th place. But now, because we got this delay, I'm going to go to the toilet, be right back, and also hopefully have a good race. Apologies about this delay, guys. I'm not quite sure what happened. I think somebody got stuck in the lobby, and I think it was MDJ, so we had to create another lobby. But 17 drivers are here tonight, which is very good. Almost a full grid. We've got a few strangers as well. He's managed to join. Martin says you want to see Perez and Bottas battle out for the first race of the season. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I don't know. I think Perez will have the slight edge of Bottas. I just have that feeling. I don't know why, but I think Perez will just get Bottas. It'll be very close between the two, but of course, when Cadillac join next season, it's not going to be glitz and glamour straight away. It's going to be like, I think, back in the field type thing. for Cadillac, and they're going to make the way forward in terms of progress and development for the new team, General Motors. And it's going to be a long-time project as well. Bottas and Perez are signed for a multi contract as well with the team. So it's a long-term investment, a long-term project. Both drivers know, of course, it won't be glamour and glory when they enter the season. Maybe it could be, you never know, but I really hope that Cadillac team are very strong this season. They both deserve, after being number twos, to help others be champion. Bottas and Perez, of course. Bottas being Hamilton wingman, and also Sergio Perez being wingman to Max Verstappen, and that's what he's talking about. But now both are free, and both can be number one drivers. I felt sorry for Perez in 2020 because the driver were at the top of his caliber, at the top of his aim game, always delivering, getting podiums, and taking a win back in Bahrain at the Sakir Grand Prix. When I think when Leclerc, Verstappen and Perez crashed, Perez went from last to first, literally, but both Mercedes had a bit of a mental breakdown in terms of pit stops. Of course, both of them on incorrect tyres, Russell and Valtteri Bottas. I think Russell had a puncture, didn't he? That Perez won the Grand Prix. Perez was actually doing a good job as well, keeping Russell at bay when Russell was up to second place. But I think we wanted multiple things to happen, because we wanted Russell to get his first win on his first race with Mercedes, but we wanted Perez to get his first win for Racing Point because he was leaving. He had nowhere else to go. But of course, Alex Albon's progress was lacking, so therefore that was an opening for Perez. And it worked better for Perez to leave Racing Point because when they became Aston Martin in 2021, they were worse. They were a lot worse. The only highlight of the season in 2021 for Aston Martin was the Baku Grand Prix when Sebastian Vettel finished on the podium in second place. When Perez won, ironically, Perez, Vettel and Gasly, they all have one thing in common. All of them used to be Red Bull drivers. Used to be as well. Oh yes, Abu Dhabi alone, mate. If Perez didn't battle Lewis for those laps, let me get the stream up because I'm not going to stream it right in front of me. I'm reading it on my PlayStation comments. Abu Dhabi alone, mate. If Perez didn't battle Lewis for those laps, he would have had a free pit stop for the sauce at the end when the safety car came. Exactly as well, because Perez held up Hamilton and he lost about 8 seconds, didn't he? Because the guy was like 8.7 and he brought it all the way down. So what Perez did in 2021 for Verstappen was absolutely crucial as well. But we're not going to talk about 2021 because obviously everyone's got mixed opinions. It was a brilliant season, of course, there's a lot of controversy, but both drivers deserve the championship, Hamilton and Verstappen. Verstappen, they deserve it, but the problem was the way it turned out, of course, with the decision. So that's what I'm going to say about it. Don't want to cause any arguments in the chat because obviously a lot of people still talk about it, which is funny. A lot of arguments in the chat. Me, I'm the type of guy to move on, forget about it. It happened. Nothing you can do about it. Whilst other people linger on and continue to talk about it, but nothing's going to happen. But one thing for sure, though, I don't think Lewis Hamilton will win his 8th championship, will he? I don't think. It's going to be a bit of a tall order, a bit of a big task for him to do that, especially when you got Charles Leclerc on the other side of the garage at his aim game right now. I know Leclerc's depressed, and Hamilton is as well. Ferrari keep balancing themselves. I watched the 2019 Russian Grand Prix, and they lost an easy win. They just lost it all. And Ferrari were on a winning streak. 3 wins in a row, Monza, Italy and Singapore. 1-2 in Russia in qualifying, then they just lost it all. I've seen and witnessed so many races from Ferrari just bottling it, and it frustrates me a lot because it used to be it wasn't really funny, but more of a meme, more of a joke type thing. But it's just so ridiculous and embarrassing now. How can a big team like Ferrari just keep messed up every single time? It's so annoying because I was a Sebastian Vettel fan, still is a Sebastian Vettel fan. And just seeing what 2017 and 2018 and 2019, 2020 happened is just so annoying for me. I watch back the races, think there's so many chances and opportunities as well. I feel sorry for Leclerc and Hamilton, Carlos Sainz as well. Whoever's been in Ferrari since 2010. Of course, a lot of the drivers have to feel the Ferrari experience. Well, not Ferrari. The question is Ferrari going to win the championship ever again? 2022, we caught a glimpse of glamour of hope. Ferrari have been absolutely terrible on strategy, even in Schumacher days. Yeah, I know. I can agree with on that one as well. But what does obviously? I was about to ask, what does Ferrari need to do to win a championship? Obviously, sort the strategies out, but it's just so embarrassing and frustrating. You think that they have the chance, you give you the hope, then they put you back down to depressing days. Even if you're not a Ferrari fan, you're gonna. Yeah, I think a lot of people want Ferrari to win. The last championship was 2008, but of course the driver didn't win it because Massa got it taken away from it, taken away by Timo Glock. Not by Timo Glock, of course, but you know what I'm trying to say. Hamilton overtook Timo Glock. It wasn't Glock's fault, and what's funny about it was people thought it was Glock's fault. It wasn't whatsoever. Glock made a good gamble. He made up quite a few places, and he got himself into P7, I believe it was, scoring points for Toyota. Glock was on dry tyres on a wet track. It was a good gamble too, for good measure. And Sebastian Vettel as well also had an influence by overtaking Hamilton as well. But yeah, it's just one of them things really. Massa never really recovered since 2009 Hungary, did he? When he had that massive head injury. So lucky he survived as well. But there is a formation lap going on here. It's the kickstart with the green car on pole. It is Valtteri Bottas. It is Noldes who's on pole ahead of Moanimo, presently to P3 and Glocky P4 in the kickstart. Fireblades, fifth ahead of Rising Star, and let's have a gander at the tyre strategies. Yusuf Farouk, Mr. Joker, is on the soft compound tyres, which is a bizarre strategy. That definitely tells me that is a two-stop strategy indeed there for Mr. Joker P13. Nico Rosberg starting from last to first, and Luis in P17 there, starting in last place. Salguero in 17th place there. Of course, he didn't get disqualified. He just joined later on in the session. But I enjoy having these talks, you know, because obviously I have got a co-commentator, so the comments really do help in terms of engagement and conversation, because when you're alone in commentary, it's hard to talk about things, like you got to make things up on the spot. So really do appreciate the comments as well. It keeps the conversation flowing. Like anything you want to talk about it in the comments chat. Like anything relevant to F1 or S4 or whatever, we could always have a chat about it. What do I think is going to happen at the Dutch GP, which is next weekend? This weekend, I'm going to the Netherlands. Oh, in the background, is that Nico Rosberg off the track? It was. But I'm going to the Netherlands next week, but not to Zandvoort, to Amsterdam. So hopefully I'll be having a good time there. Yeah. Hopefully I get the green light to see the red light. No, I'm only joking. But obviously I'm going to Netherlands again in October. So I'm going to the Netherlands twice. One for Amsterdam and a second one for Lelystad. For more of a business type thing. And we'll see how it goes. I'm very nervous, very excited. Hopefully all my past experience will help lead up to this and help me go forward and progress even better. I'll be literally commentating in real life against a lot of different teams in there as well. So I can't wait. 6 amazing people with me. Milan Langer, of course, is with me for the event. A well-known commentator and also a driver too. Zandvoort is this weekend at the Dutch GP as every single driver slots in towards the position. Let's see what happens down in towards turn 1. The lights are on the paddles. The drivers are waiting. Nerves and pressure is high. We are underway in the spotlight of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Glock gets a decent start as he overtakes the Red Bull, as Noldes gets a landing start too. Contact between the Red Bull and the kickstart as we head down in towards turn 1 and spin press. There's contact, major contact between the Racing Bull who goes in towards the spin. That was Glock, and Simon loses traction. He get pushed down, and more action going on with Glock as well. And personally go side by side. They're both on the track together in turn 3, and the Ferrari's going to run the outside in towards 4. We go wheel to wheel between the two. Hazara Noldes stays in front, but Mercedes spins like this. Is the most dramatic lap we've ever had in SFR for quite a long time. Every single driver getting themselves in sort of contact and carnage. And Nico Rosberg is up into 7th place, but Hurricane is down the inside of his teammate, who doesn't have a livery. Well, he does, but not the chrome livery, so he must have forgot to put out the car or something like that. I think it is a glitch anyway, but Nico Rosberg up into P7 as Hurricane gives him a bit of a look tap there as well. In the background, Mercedes gets out of shape, but that was a dramatic first lap. I didn't know where to look, and there was so much carnage and contact everywhere. Now the kick Sauber was looking very strong. A Glock in P3. There was a lot going on there between the Sauber, the Ferrari, the Racing Bull. A 3-1 never went, but my eyes were everywhere as well, trying to keep up with everything. So I'm not quite sure what happened going down towards turn 1, towards turn 4, but I think the drivers can look back at it. What's Samid doing? I think he forgot where the track is for a brief second there. Goes off it as Nico Rosberg puts the pressure on as we head towards the end of that one. Lap 2, then the TMS wide open very soon. As Nordis now sets fast up the Grand Prix. In the background, Mercedes spins, and that is Riser's start, I think, in the pit lane to get rid. Retires already as we have a massive lockup going towards turn 1. So Riser's start is out of the race. He race quits. He's had enough. And Nico Rosberg up into B6 ahead of Samit there. Puts the McLaren up into 6th place, and he made up about 10 places in 2 laps as well. What a fantastic start it's been for Nico Rosberg in P6, trying to do a last to first challenge. I think he made up more places than he did on the first lap here in Bahrain, which is quite stunning as well. Hopefully he didn't get tangled up with anybody or make contact with anybody, so hopefully he's safe on that in terms of penalties. But Nordis leads. I think he was the one that I think he was the only driver that had a clean start so far, with everybody else scrapping it out. And look at Glock. Glock hasn't been this competitive since what? Season 15-16. I mean, he's had the pace, but unfortunately with this game it has been quite difficult for the Kick Sauber driver, and it's nice to see him back in form and shape. And you know what happens as well when Glock's alive and active? He is a very feisty driver. He never backs down as well, so I wonder what Glock is going to do against Mo and Nemo. And Rising Star says he forgot to load his setup. Rising Star, how could you forget the most important thing you need? I know Rising Star. I'm always reminded, when there's a lobby restart in one of my leagues, I'm always reminded to get a setup on because I always forget. So it is painful, but Glock is quick with the quickest lap of the lap time. As here comes Glock now, side by side with the Ferrari. It's a kick Sauber 1-2, but the Ferrari is not done yet. Still there on the outside, but Glock just covers him off for the time being. Massive oversteer there for the Ferrari driver as he gets out of shape. And look at this, Nico Rosberg versus Jensen, as we head down in towards turn 4. But Nico can't make a move. He's so close to the back of the RP's gearbox. Both RP drivers are so close together indeed. It's going to be such an intense race. Look at Nico, more cornering speed, and he might go down the inside in towards yes he does. What a move from Nico there, up the inside, very precise, very brave, and he made the corner 2. No messing about from Nico. It makes it seem so easy. Look at the kick Saubers. This is going to be so interesting between Glock versus Henry for the lead of the Grand Prix. The Norwegian versus the Brits from Manchester. As we head down in towards 11, Glock has been as competitive for a long time. I'm going to look to see when Glock had his last win, because it could have been 15 or 16, but I can't remember which one it was, because it's always been there in terms of being competitive. I don't think he won in season 16. He was there, but as a reserve driver, no podiums either to his name. So I think season 15 is when the last time Glock tasted glory at SFR. And he did 2 wins. His first win was back at the Bahrain Grand Prix, interestingly as well. So Glock's last win wasn't in Bahrain, it was, where was it? It was Netherlands as well in season 15. Here comes Glock for the lead of the Grand Prix, and here comes Nico Rosberg up the years. It's a 3 abreast almost, as he's side by side with Fireblades. These two were fighting for the win, and Glock gets a 3-second time penalty already in this race as Nico gets ahead of Fireblades for P4. Those two are fighting on the last lap of the Japanese Grand Prix, but Nico makes light work of Fireblades as he puts himself up into P4. Next target is Mo and Nemo, then the kick Saubers in front of him. It's making this look so easy, is Nico Rosberg. I wonder though what his tyre life is like, because it must be so high with all the overtakes he's done so far, all the battles he's been involved in. But it's been coming through like a steam train, has Nico Rosberg, hot knife through butter, and he's been steaming through every single driver indeed. As President Lee gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Didn't he have a good qualifying? Yes, he did. So he's dropped down in towards P9, has President Elite, after starting 3rd place. So what a disastrous start there for President Elite. Quite sure what happened to him. He dropped down the order. I think he made contact. I think he was one of the drivers in the Red Bull camp who made contact in towards 1 and 2 and dropped backwards because there was so much going on between the guys at the front of the field. We couldn't quite see what happened between him and other people. So he's down to P9 and he's got a penalty too. So what a shame there for both of their leads. Good qualifying, but a bad start. Now, lap 4 out of 29, the DRS enabled every single driver bunched up once again. The Cat's really been doing the most of the pigeons, as now the DRS is wide open. Here comes Nico. Will he force the move going down in towards turn 1? Here he is on the back as we head in towards turn 1 we go. Oh, almost in towards the back of Nordus there. Luckily, did not break his wing or spin out Nordus as he makes his way up into P3. And Dylan, of course, it can be anything for you. It's a 3-second penalty for Velocio Jr., Elite, and Glock. What did you say, Dylan? You said it's a glitch. I didn't read your whole comment out, so let me just get in the comment section real quick and see what you said. Can you check penalties? Because I think people are getting 3 seconds after a first warning. Oh, is that what you meant? Well, I don't think Glock picked up a penalty immediately, because look at that. He's been exploring with the child miss there. So which people do you want me to look at? Is it Velocio Jr. in P12? Penalty plus 3 warnings. Wow. Okay, that's very interesting. So, immediate penalty there. But back towards the race then. It is still Glock who leads this Grand Prix, but the man does have a 3-second penalty. He won here in season 15. I think it was against MDJ at the time and Laser too. As we head down towards turn 13. All these guys are so bunched up together indeed. Jensen's on the back of this DRS train. Jensen much better race pace this time. He did struggle in qualifying. A bit of, I thought for 1 second then Nordus had a problem there, but I think it was lag as he almost lagged in towards Nico Rassenberg. But the DRS is enabled once again. Here comes Nico. Next target is Nordus. Let's see if he sails through him in towards turn 1 we go. Nordus is about to overtake his teammates as we head towards the break. So we go side by side, level pegging between the two. I think they're trying to block off Nico Rassenberg, if that makes sense, as the two kick-sabers in a battle. But Nico gets past one of them. Can he get past both of them? They're side by side, the three abreast. Glock's in the middle, nowhere to go, and Nordus there will try to take the lead as we head down in towards turn 4 we go. It is so close between all three of them, but all three making out unscathed, and Nico Rassenberg takes the lead of the Grand Prix from start to down in P16 up to first place in 6 laps. Unbelievable to see indeed from Nico Rassenberg. Fantastic, but there's still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Anything could happen. So what was Nordus' tactic? I look at that, 5 players just right behind there, Mo and Nemo, as we now head towards. Is he racing without a helmet? Has he got a helmet on? Oh, he has. I thought it was that glitch where he does have a helmet on. But Mo and Nemo there with the black helmet, you can see his face as well, but I don't think you can see anybody else's face. The top 6 all so close together. Samid has dropped off this train. Hurricane has a small. Hurricane, a winner here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Twice a winner too. But Yusuf Farouk now gets a 3-second penalty. How on earth did none of them spin out in turn 4? Because I thought one of them was going to spin. They were so close together indeed. Barely fractions separated between all 3 of them there. But somehow they made it unscathed. And Nico Rassenberg break the toe from Glock. Well, Glock tries to one of the inside towards turn 1. He's thinking about the outside line, going towards the first corner. He goes, and he takes the lead. Oh, who's that going off the track there? Does Sammy not know how to drive in a straight line? And Harry Kane has overtaken Sammy. By the way, for context, Sammy does have a broken controller. Hence why he's jittering left and right. I thought I'd make fun of him. As here comes Jensen on his teammate in towards turn 4. Can he make it stick? The 2 Alpines in a battle together, but Jensen can't get the traction down. But he has the edge, and on the inside line towards 6 and 7 he goes, puts his Alpine up to P5. So I think if both kick sabers just work together, try and use the DRS off the back of Nico and try and keep him there in contention as well, because both kick sabers can try and plan attacks on Nico Rassenberg. So Nico can't break away, he doesn't have the pure pace to do that, but maybe later in the Grand Prix when these guys suffer from tyre wear, and you may be thinking, well, why would they suffer from tyre wear? Because they're all the same age of tyres. Well, I know Nordus and Glock is on pad. Nico Rassenberg is on the wheel. And the wheel gives you a bit more advantage on tyre life. Look at Nico. Right at the back of Glock as we head down towards turn 13 we go. I remember as well last season when a few people just dropped off the tyre. The tyres just went off the cliff dramatically as Hurricane gets a 3-second penalty. Remember Hazara? Last season in the Sauber, he lost so much time because his tyres died towards the Grand Prix. And then Hurricane was able to win. Here comes Nico Rosberg with the DRS open once again. Let's see if he goes for a move or stays behind. He thinks about the inside this time as we head down towards the breaker zone, in towards one. But with the Y line being there, Glock should have the DRS on the back of Nico Rosberg as Simon gets a 10-second time to the tyres in the pit lane. And that's his day. His day is done and dusted, unfortunately, with a broken controller. I'd rather him retire in the pit lane and cause trouble on the track because I don't want him to go left into somebody on the straight and ruin their race. So I think it's best for him to retire and buy a new controller because he's got too much stick drift. As Trista says, can't understand this caster at all. Can't understand this caster at all. As we head down into towards turn 9 and turn 10 we go. That's because I am ill. I'm not really speaking clearly. That's why you can't really understand me properly, because I've got a blocked nose and a sore throat. So I'm trying my best. So apologies if I'm not up to 100%. Hopefully you guys can hear me properly. As we head down towards turn 9 and turn 10 once again, or 11 and 12. The gap is about 9/10, 1 second between Nico and Glock. Between the top two. Notice in P3 just behind. Glock's almost out of DRS range against Nico Rosberg. And Notice is in the pit lane to get rid of his medium compact tyres. So that's a very early pit stop there from Notice. Lap 9 out of 29. He's in the pit lane to get rid of his medium compact tyres. Let's see what tyres he goes for. Is it a 1-stop or is it a 2-stop for the kickstarter driver? Looking to the undercut and the rest of the guys ahead. And now he goes on to the hardcore power tyres he goes on to. That's could be a 1-stop, maybe a 2-stop, medium hard. And he rejoins down in towards P12. Glock, however, DRS range in contention of Nico Rosberg. But he's fallen out of DRS range there. Is Glock there, so not able to keep up with the McLaren driver. His pace is dropping off quite significantly too. Nemo, so the DRS has been broken apart between all these guys here. The gap is 1.6 seconds between Nico Rosberg and Glock then, so mighty close between those two. Let's see if Glock decides to go to the pit lane at the end of this lap. No, he stays out for one more lap then, so he's not thinking about pit stop just yet. But Nico Rosberg is pulling away from Glock in first place. And his tyres, they're desperately struggling as well. Jensen is right behind the Ferraris. We head down towards turn 1. Jensen up the inside, in towards turn 1. Ooh, that's almost made contact between themselves, in towards 1, 2 and 3. And Jensen with the DRS wide open against the Ferrari. Let's see if he goes down the inside, in towards turn 4. But he can't do it for the time being, and just stays behind. $19 laps left to go in this race, and Glock is 2.1 seconds behind of Nico Rosberg, so definitely lost a lot of pace towards him. Nico is pulling away, and nobody else has pitted just yet. Nordis overtakes Adams, so I wonder if everybody else is trying to elongate the first stint and make it better for the second stint to go on the hardcore power tyres. But I think in one of the races I commentated in a different league, somebody pits on lap 9 to go on the hardcore power tyres, but they couldn't make it towards the end. So I think it's a definite 2-stop for Nordis, because 20 laps to set hardcore power tyres is going to be quite a difficult task indeed to make them go towards the end of the Grand Prix. As Salguero gets a 3-second penalty in P14 there. He just joined in the very last stages of this race. He wasn't supposed to be here, but with the lobby restart, he allowed him to be in the session. And Jensen then rides the back of Nemo. Here comes the DRS wide open on the back of the Ferrari as we head down towards turn 1. Let's see if Jensen can make a move this time against the Ferrari. And in the background, Hurricane's pitted to get rid of his mini compound tyres. Jensen closing as we head down towards turn 1, but not close enough to make him a lunge on this occasion. Fireblades right behind two. The two LP drivers close together in battle, but can't overtake the championship leader. Remember, Mo Nemo took over the championship against Jensen when Jensen didn't attend back at the Japanese Grand Prix. And Harry Kane rejoins in P12 for the time being. Volchev Jr. now goes up into P8 ahead of MDJ. Well, he's on the hardcore power tyre, same as Laser, so I expected those two now to make their way through the field, but unfortunately they don't have the pace to contend with the guys in front of them. So we expect those guys to be quicker now on the hardest core power tyre. The race pretty much settled down now, but of course there's still a battle going on for P3, and nobody else has really followed orders in terms of the leaders. Glock is still out there on the mini core power tyre, so maybe telling me that he could be going for that one-stop strategy, because if you're going to go for the two-stop, you need to pit right now, otherwise you'll have the laps left to make that two-stop strategy work to attack later on in the Grand Prix. So maybe the one-stop strategy for Glock is going to happen. Had to let Nico Rosberg go because Nico's pace has been blistering so far. Nobody can contend with him, and nobody can match him so far in this race. Doing an absolute outstanding job from P16 to P1. Here we go then, as we see the main contenders in the pit lane. Glock, Mo and Nemo are in the pit lane, as Mo and Nemo almost lost it too. The volume is quite high, so let me just turn that down for you because I can barely hear myself. Yeah, so the volume was quite high there. The engines are so loud as to go on the hardcore power tyres. So we see Glock, we see Mo and Nemo on the hardcore power tyres. Jensen gets a 3-second penalty as well in P2. So the man who was the championship leader and picked up multiple wins this season, unfortunately has a 3-second penalty. And notice, where is he right now? Notice it's up into P7, but of course on older tyres, so the gap is 3.4. But the concern about him is that Norris could have to do a two-stop strategy, because the hardcore power tyres, can he make it towards the end? And if he can, how much pace is he going to lose? Sorry about that, that's a voice crack, my voice is definitely going. But how much pace is he going to lose in comparison towards other people too? So got to be wary about that. No, that's the P7. It might not be easy for him towards the end, and if he is going for the two-stop strategy, he's going to be super quick towards in the Grand Prix. But how much pace does he have on hand? The two-stop is not always the way to go, unfortunately, unless you have the pure pace. But the one-stop is the way to go if you can keep those tyres alive, and plus if you have the pace too, because tyre management and pace management is really key. Because if your tyres drop off and you don't have the pace, then you're going to struggle towards the end. But if you're one of those drivers that have good tyre management and good pace to go with it, then you settle for the race as well. That didn't really make sense there. But what I mean is, some people struggle on old tyres and they drop off dramatically. But for those people who have good pace on the old tyres and can keep them going towards in the Grand Prix without any problems whatsoever, and Nico Rosberg and Jensen are in the pit lane to the hardcore power tyres as well, as Norris will take the net lead of the Grand Prix very soon as well, because the guys in first and second haven't pitted just yet. Fireblade still on his mini power tyres, going for a longer stint like he usually does. So let's see where Jensen rejoins. Mo Nemo gets ahead to do the undercut, and there goes the Ferrari, overtakes Adams, who hasn't pitted just yet in the Mercedes. Jensen rejoins down in P9 then, so Mo Nemo has done the undercut against Jensen, but not much though, not much separated between those two. The only problem is for Jensen that Adams is in the way, but he should dispatch him soon, and the fight for P3 should continue after that as well, as we head down towards turn 8. We're almost halfway towards this Grand Prix, very close to it indeed. Fireblades hasn't pitted just yet, neither has Laser or Vlodchev Jr. in P3 and P2. Of course, go for the longest on the hardcore power tyres. They can't pit just yet, because if they do, then the mini-core power tyres will surely not make it towards the end of the race at all. As we head down in towards turn 11 we go. Nico Rosberg there in the background too. Harry Kane's there in the background too, behind Jensen, but of course he's well out of contention is Harry Kane. Struggling so much this season too. He hasn't really found any form at all this season. Has the man from Norway, the two-time champion here in SFR. His most dominant season was season 16, picking up 11 wins, but after that he just struggled. Still adapt to this game, and Harry Kane hopefully will find his pace, because when he does, he'll be a real contender. As we see Jensen now overtake Adams, that's very crucial for him not to get stuck behind, so he can focus on the guy in front of him, which is Mo Nemo. his championship rival for this season. Mo Nemo is leading the championship by 8 points ahead of Jensen in P1 and P2, and the gap behind is super close between 2nd and 4th. Fireblades and Vlodchev Jr. on 69 points between those guys, and Jensen on 70. So it's super close as Nico Rassenberg gets a 3-second attack, and Glock is in DRS range too. He pitted one lap before and is in DRS range. So that tells you the power of the undercut here as well. The power of the undercut is just so powerful around here. What was he, about 2-3 seconds behind before the first round of pit stops? Noldus got ahead, of course, because he has been running those tyres. Well, he has pitted way earlier in comparison towards Nico and Glock, so we expected to get the undercut. But I wonder though, will Noldus be forced into a 2-stop? Can he make those tyres go towards the Grand Prix? And if he can, they'll be screaming towards the Grand Prix too. They could be coming towards punchy territory, so Noldus might have to do a bit of management towards the end. Maybe the race is not in his hands like it was in Japan, where he struggled too in terms of tyres. And Adams gets a 3-second attack for multiple warnings, unfortunately for the Scotsman down there in P8. Running inside the top 8 is Adams so far. But Glock continues his pursuit after Nico Rassenberg as we head down towards turn 1. It's nice to see that Glock is back. He's been out of contention for a little bit, has Glock been reserving now and then as Laser fights with Vlodchev Jr. Of course, those on the hardcore power tyres, not pitted just yet. Those are the leaders of this Grand Prix yet to pit, of course, as we head through turn 6 and turn 7. In the background is Noldus as well, catching at a rate of knots. And I wonder how long these two could go on the hardcore power tyres as well, because pitting now, not ideal, because the medium power tyres don't last for like that long. Especially at a track like this, where we've got heavy traction zones, medium speed, high speed corners. You need the tyres to be as young as possible as well. So these two can't afford to pit just yet, because you just saw Laser have a bit of a moment out of turn number, I think it was 10. 14 laps left to go in this race, past the halfway point. And so far, it is Noldus who leads, who is the net race leader, and Nico Rassenberg's behind with Glock in P5-2. Mo Nemo does not have a penalty to his name, so he could be solidified for P3. Maybe later on in the Grand Prix when Noldus... Well, it's undecided just yet between Noldus, whether he'll do the 2-stop or try and drag it out towards the end. You don't want to do a 2-stop, but Noldus may be forced into it. Depends what his tyres are like. He's got a big gap between himself and Mo Nemo in P6. I think the inevitable will happen between Nico Rassenberg and Glock. So when that does happen, I think Noldus needs to think about Mo Nemo in P6 and try and do a bit of time management. I definitely know that I can't make a 2-stop strategy work, because I tried medium hard. Well, I tried to do a 1-stop at first, but I had to do a 2-stop unfortunately because I was so close towards the punch. In fact, I pitted lap 24 from lap 10 on the hardcore power tyres, and it was about 82%. So tyre life is so bad around here for the pad drivers. But for Noldus, I'm not quite sure what the scenario is going to be like for him later on in the Grand Prix. Will he have to just pay a bit of a price towards the end of the Grand Prix? Jensen picks up another penalty. It'll be a 6-second penalty for Jensen, because I believe he's picked up 2. Fireblaze has become somewhat disconnected. I thought he was a real contention for a podium, but Mo Nemo has done a really good job so far in P6, just holding his own in P6 to defend against both RP drivers, not under pressure from anybody, doesn't have a 3-second penalty. So a steady race there from the man from the UK, I think. We were debating where Mo Nemo was from. Some said Belgium, I said Belgium, but he's from the UK. He is the man in the Ferrari. Jensen is back in DRS range, but Mo Nemo will have to worry a bit too much. And Jensen is his closest championship contender too. And Noldus is right behind Laser, but of course Laser is not going to fight this one too much because he knows he's on the back foot with those older hardcore power tyres. So 16 laps on those hardcore power tyres for Laser. I wonder what they'll be feeling like right now. Chewed up. Look at that, you can see just everything graining on there. Look at that, the tyres are grained up to the point where they're almost to get a puncture. Wonder how long it will be before these guys have to pit as well. No pace whatsoever from the Aston Martin. Yours were tired in the pit lane, so no safety car deployed on that occasion. Unfortunately, he's called it quits. We've got Samuel out of the Grand Prix, we've got Yusuf Farouk out of the Grand Prix, Yarl 2, and Rising Star. Look at that, Laser is really struggling here, has no grip whatsoever. The car reluctant to turn in, and Norris is right behind Velocio Jr. Massive wheel spin too, even in 5th gear that was. So desperate to apply the throttle, he wants to overtake right now, and he does, up the inside, in towards turn 11. This is when we saw Danny Kvyat, or Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kvyat make contact in 2019 in the Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso, but Norris there gets ahead, up into 1st place, and now can pull away from Junior. I didn't expect the Ferrari driver to make it too hard against him, but obviously wasn't going to let him walk through and go past. So now he's back up into 1st place. There is 12 laps left to go, so what is it? 12 plus 8 is 20. I don't know. 20 is going to be a long stretch. As Velocio Jr. is pitted, that's 16-lap-old hardcore powered tyres. Laser is struggling with 16-lap-old hardcore powered tyres. His pace has just dropped off the cliff dramatically. He has no pace whatsoever in the Aston Martin, so I wonder if Norris might drop backwards later on. Nico Rosberg is right behind. Glock's dropped backwards too. Well, how is Norris going to play this out? Will he let Nico go? Because if he fights him, it's like corners like high-speed corners or heavy braking zones. That means more tyre wear. So what will he do? He knows on the back foot. He knows Nico's got better tyres. What would you do in this situation? No penalty either. Moe Nemo, I dare say, is his closest rival. Not closest, but you know what I mean, in P4. He's right there. He could be on course for a podium, Moe Nemo. I really hope Norris doesn't do a 2-stop strategy, because that'll unfortunately lift him off the podium. And he deserves a podium too with his fantastic driving, but unfortunately, this could be the wrong strategy from Norris. I wonder what his tyres are like right now. I remember as well, when I was spectating a race, I think quite a few races ago, there was a tyre graphic that came up, and it said the driver's tyre percentage, and I don't know how to activate that. I really don't. Is it the telemetry? But it came up, and it told me the tyre wear on people's tyres, so I really hope I can see that again. As look at this, Nico right at the back of Norris. He's got a major tyre advantage. There should be no competition, and Nico Rosberg with the DRS wide open should be simply walking past him. There he is with the DRS, goes to the right side, and retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. He does have a 3-second penalty, but I don't think that'll hinder him. Unless, of course, there's a safety car later in the Grand Prix, he should be okay. He definitely has the pace so far. But I think Norris, he needs to focus on saving the tyres. And Jensen is up into 4th place ahead of Moe Nemo. But we know Moe Nemo doesn't have a penalty towards his name. Jensen does, so he shouldn't really have to fight too hard. Oh, you don't want to be doing that, Moe Nemo. Risking further contact, knowing there could be a potential podium in the cars later in the Grand Prix, because they say Norris's tyres will have a 10 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. Adams gets a penalty as well. Harry Kane gets a penalty, so penalty galore around here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. I remember turn 4 with track limits on the exit of turn 4 in 2021, with plenty of drivers were seen in that too, and many people get a penalty for that too. Except Lewis Hamilton, of course, because there was a video of Hamilton going off track about 42 times in towards turn 4. No joke either. I think it's on YouTube. But chat limits can be absolutely brutal around here too. I don't really suffer around chat limits around this track. It's not really a place no more that catches me out, really. But of course, with people on all the tyres, people are struggling, of course. So we do see a few people get caught out with chat limits. So notice lost the DRS towards Nico Rosberg. There's about 10 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. The closest battle is right now between Moe Nemo and Jensen for P4. As we head down towards turn 1, a possible podium could be happening. Down towards one we go. That's a late move. And he outbreaks himself, makes contact, but gets ahead. You don't want to be doing these sort of moves, because Moe Nemo, yes, that's his championship rival, but he knows he'll finish in P4. I know maybe you just want to do it for fun. Then it's fair enough. But if you're going to think about it long term, you don't want to be making those moves, because you never know if Norris might have a massive tyre advantage, a massive drop-off of performance, and huge pace deficit loss as well. And when that does happen, Moe Nemo needs to be there to attack. He really does. It's going to be either Norris forced into a 2-stop, or you can have a massive tyre drop-off towards the Grand Prix. That's the two options. And when either of those two things do happen, Moe Nemo needs to be there. Who's that off the track? And that's Harry. Off to Narnia Hugo's back on the track, and President Elite is right behind as we head down in towards turn number 10. But Nico Rosberg has got this covered. Yes, he got a 3-second time penalty, but he got a massive tyre advantage as well. Norris is 1.66 back. I really do hope for Norris' sake that the tyres make it towards the end because he deserves a podium. I know it's very difficult of saving tyres around on this game. And he's pitted, so that answers any questions. So any doubts in your head can be now gone. And Norris has pitted then to go onto a two-stop strategy. And this should be the hardcore power tyres again. Maybe not the mediums. Is it a hard? Let's have a look right now. It is hard. So hardcore power tyres attached to Norris' car. And away he goes. But the question is now, does he have the pace to come back through? That is the question. Mo and Nemo is side by side with Jensen once again as the DRS is wide open. Now, here's the interesting thing. With these two constantly scrapping away like this gives Norris a big chance to catch up. There is 10 laps left to go in the Grand Prix and a massive tyre offset as well. So let's see if that massive tyre offset will help Norris to come back through the field. It's going to be so interesting now to see what Norris can do. I'm quite interested. I think things at the top of the field are pretty much separated and done and dusted. Nico Rosberg will be the winner of the Grand Prix, but I don't want to put the commentator's curse on just yet because safety cars. I don't see a chance for safety car coming out because you don't really get many in SFR these days. And plus, as well, this track has got a huge runoff area, so you don't really see many people making mistakes or crashing out. I could put the commentator's curse on that, but hopefully I don't. So the main thing to watch out for now is the man in P9 Norris. First target is Velocio Jr. in P8, and the one thing he can't afford to do is get stuck behind him. These guys are on the back straight, and in the background you can see Norris through turn 13, so that's where he is right now. That's where he is, and plus people in front of him have got penalties except Fireblaze and Mo and Nemo. Fireblaze caught up too. That's quite interesting. So the battle for P3 is getting quite tasty. Look at this. Norris is in the background of your screen as we head down in towards turn 1. There are the cars he's got to overtake on the track. Fireblaze and Mo and Nemo specifically, because those two do not have a 3-second penalty. He's got to do the overtake on the track. How is this going to play out? Who is going to be in the podium towards the end of the Grand Prix? Is it Fireblaze? Is it Mo and Nemo? Is it Norris? And Norris is right behind Velocio Jr. He needs to overtake him right now to make sure he doesn't lose any time. This is going to be such an epic battle towards the Grand Prix for P3. Jensen won't get it, but Fireblaze, Mo and Nemo, Norris can. By the way, I'm trying my absolute best to hold on here. I've got a sore throat, blocked nose, but I keep going no matter what. Push to the pain. Keep you guys entertained. Make sure you guys have a live stream too to watch back. But this is going to turn out to be a spectacular finish towards the Grand Prix. Mutual. What was I going to say? Never mind. He's overtaken Velocio Jr. up into P8, but multiple. There we go, multiple. I think I was getting stuck between cultural and multiple. Multiple tyre strategies going on throughout the field. And I wonder which one's going to be the best. 2 stops all the way to go, but of course Norris has got some great pace. Guys ahead do have a 3-second penalty. But can he catch up, as that's the question. Next target is President Elite as well. So let's see if the number 77 of Norris can catch up. Back towards the front of the field though. Fireblaze is right behind us. We head down towards turn 1. Mo and Nemo goes defensive. He knows this is a fight for the podium because Fireblaze does not have a 3-second time penalty. Fireblaze gets a bit of a wobble now turn 3. There's Norris in the background. Time is ticking down for Norris to catch up. Look at all these guys weaving as well down towards turn 4. All these guys have got their elbows out today, haven't they? Literally. We saw carnage in towards turn 1. People shoved each other off the track. So yeah, these guys getting very feisty and very aggressive in this heated up Bahrain Grand Prix in the desert as well. So literally the heat of the moment type thing. Although these guys are racing in the virtual world. It's still quite hot though in the UK. Not quite sure what it is elsewhere. But Nico Rosberg, 8.8 against Glock as well. Let's have a look at Glock's situation. Yeah, so Glock could be in the podium as well. Glock's first podium since when? Since season 15? And if Glock's in the podium here this afternoon or this evening, that'll be a phenomenal podium indeed. Great drive from the man from Manchester. Excellent drive indeed. It's been a long time since Glock has been on the podium. I know a lot of people have got mixed opinions about him. He's a character for sure, but not many people could handle his character. Not even me when I raced against him. Me and him had a bit of a heated moment, but that's been put past behind us. I don't know if you meant. I think me and him were in a championship fight in 2023, and it got spicy indeed. As we head down towards turn 1, Mo and Nemo right to the back of the Alpine's gearbox. Nordus is 2.6 seconds behind, so he's closing in. There he is in the background. There is 5 laps left to go as Nico gets a 3-second time penalty, but he won't care. He will not care about that one whatsoever because he's got a massive gap behind. The only time when Nico will care is when the safety car comes out. That's when he will care. He may be sitting pretty so far with a 6-second penalty, knowing that, oh, I've got a 6-second penalty, don't need to worry. But these things can bite you back in the ass as well if you're not careful, because uncontrollable variable could happen in the race where a safety car comes out or something like that. So he may be comfortable right now, but if something unconventional happens in this race, then Nico's on the back foot. I remember plenty of people, and me as well, where I've got a 3-second penalty. It's like, oh, that's okay. I've got a 6-second gap behind me. I don't need to worry. But unfortunately, a safety car comes out, and I've seen plenty of times in the past as well, people got wins taken away from them, and it is so painful. That's why you got to be consistent. That's why it's so important to pick up less penalties as you can. I know it's not going to be a clean slate for everybody. I know people are going to pick up penalties, and yeah, it's going to be one of those things where it's just so difficult. But at the same time, though, you've got to make sure. Oh, in the background, he's spun. Who's that? Elite's spun, and he's in the wall. He has lost traction, but no safety car has been deployed. Wow, imagine that, a commentator's curse if a safety car got deployed. Is that where Jack Dillon spun in 2020? He's spun in the pit lane, and is he going to retire? No, he's not, because usually people retire when they spin in the pit lane. It wasn't Jack Dillon, it was Mick Dillon. Sorry, Jack Aiken. It was Jack Aiken who spun in the wall in 2020, and that's when the safety car came out, and of course the pit lane confusion. What a shame for Puzzle Elite there. Lost traction in the exit of the corner. Did he have a puncture? How old is his tyres? I can't tell now, but I don't think his tyres were too old to merit a puncture. Maybe just lost traction all by himself. But look who's in the background. Look who's caught up. Nordus on the best, freshest tyres. He needs to make inroads. First target is Hurricane in front of him. This is going to get spicy and interesting. Mo and Nemo has lost the DRS. That could be very interesting too towards the Grand Prix. He's lost the DRS and is in the clutches of Fireblaze too. There is 3 drivers going for a podium here tonight. Mo and Nemo, Fireblaze and Nordus. But the question is, which one is it going to be? If Jensen has the pace, because he doesn't, he's got a 6-second penalty, so he doesn't have the pace to break through that gap, unless something major and dramatic happens in this race. But tuck yourself in for this battle under the spotlight at the Bahrain Grand Prix. It may not be the leader of the Grand Prix, but it's a battle for the podium, and Nordus is up into P6 ahead of Hurricane. Here comes Fireblaze now, ahead of Mo and Nemo as we head down in towards turn 1. He takes away 4th place, but Nordus is there in the background lurking. Can he make it a double Kicksauber podium? He won in China already this season. He's going for his 2nd podium of season 18. He's the man from Norway. I said the 2-stop won't work, and it doesn't work. But of course, with scenarios, extenuating circumstances, it can sometimes. And here comes the Ferrari then. Nordus is going to put the Ferrari under massive pressure. I don't think there's anything Mo and Nemo could do because he's dropping backwards like a stone. His pace has gone off quite dramatically, and Nordus is going to overtake him. Got to be careful though. You don't want to get too cocky and send a launch from the inside. Did he just let him past? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But Nordus now goes up into P5 ahead of the Ferrari. Will he slot back in? Oh, almost contact there between the two. You know what it is as well? You forget to drink water as a solo commentator. Oh, Fireblaze! Fireblaze gets a 3-second penalty, and I'm pretty sure the podium will belong to Nordus. So Nordus will be back at the podium after his 2-stop strategy, and there will be a double Kicksauber podium. No safety cars will be deployed to interrupt this race. Nico Rosberg now can breathe and relax. Maybe when he saw that yellow flag in the final corner 2 laps ago, he would have been panicking. But luckily for him, no virtuals, no safety cars. I think if the SC might have been okay, depending when it ended. or when it started, but a safety car would have completely ruined this race. And here comes Norris behind Fireplace, side by side, in towards turn 4, lays the brakes, he goes up to P4. And Mo and Nemo and Hurricane are fighting out for 2 for P6 here. They get so close on the exit. Oh, Hurricane gets a 3-second time assist, they bang wheels in towards 6 and 7 side by side. Hurricane ducks to the inside line, but can't make the move stick against Mo and Nemo. Stays behind for the time being. You can see they're both struggling for traction too on the hardcore power tyres. Their tyres are degrading. Mo and Nemo and Hurricane have lost touch with the guys in front. And Noldus is right behind Jensen. Here he comes. He's back up into P3 by default. And great drive from Noldus to be back up into P3. So he's made it work, has Noldus. He has made it work. And even if he does pick up a penalty now, he still has the tyre advantage. And Jensen goes off the track too in turn 12. And Jensen's picked up so many penalties in this race too. 6-second penalty there for Jensen, but at least he might gain points on his championship rival on Mo and Nemo, who's just in the DRS range or just in the 3-second range of Jensen, but is struggling on those hardcore power tyres. I know it's not been a spectacular race, but hopefully you all enjoy this race because it has been something. It has been a good one so far. I love the mixture of strategies. It really does galvanise the race and throws a spanner in the works. Hurricane gets up into P6, back ahead of Mo and Nemo, and Velocio Jr. is caught up as well. We haven't really talked about MDJ. There he is at P9 in the Red Bull. I do like to give everybody some screen time, so apologies about that. Here comes Mo and Nemo, side by side with Hurricane as we head down in towards turn 4, but can he go all the way on the outside? He can't, and here comes his teammates. Burt doesn't go for the move. What happened there? What on earth happened there? That was a bizarre... I have no idea what happened there. Did he slam on the brakes? Did he? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Was that a glitch? Got a 3-second penalty for that as well, unfortunately. But bizarre. What happened to Mo and Nemo there? The only driver who hasn't got a penalty in the field is this man, Nordus in P3. Super consistent in this race. What a drive it's been for Nordus. I know tyre wear hasn't been on his side today, but I don't think he'll care so much. Can he catch Glock? You may be thinking, why would you say that? He's 6 seconds ahead in terms of penalties, because Glock has got a 3-second penalty, so it's the last lap of the Grand Prix. I don't think he can. Yeah, I think the gap's about 2.8 if you want to take away penalties. Yeah, it's 2.8 between Nordus and Glock, so I don't think he'll get him unless he gets a mighty final lap to get his teammate to finish in P2. There he is, the kickstarter in front of us as the Aston Martin of Salguero gets out of the way. Of course, he just made his debut here today in SFR Division 1 this season, taking part at the very last minute. Personally, he gets penalty too. But MDJ, I feel bad for because, like I said, I give everybody screen time. Here he is in the Red Bull. Did struggle in the race. He's up into P9 and got nobody around him. All alone in the race. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix as Velocio Jr. and Hurricane go side by side once again. As Junior gets a better exit, but Hurricane's still there as we head wheel to wheel in towards 6 and turn 7, and the Ferrari driver muscles his way through, but Hurricane back down the inside. He doesn't, because the Ferrari covers the inside line and stays ahead. All eyes to the front of the field. This man, Nico Rassenberg, started last in Japan, finished in first place, defended from Fireblaze after being hunted down on the last few laps of the Grand Prix by Fireblaze, but couldn't get past. He won at the Japanese Grand Prix, and the reserve driver turned into a full-time driver. Nico Rassenberg sees the checker flag once again, and Nico wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a fantastic race from last up to first place. Second time in a row for Nico Rassenberg, and he's opened up his championship contention as well. As Nico Rassenberg first ahead of Glock in P2. Fantastic drive from Glock, his first podium since season 15. Noldus in P3. 1.4 seconds was the gap between himself and Glock. Jensen 4th place, but we know he got penalties. Fireblaze in 4th, and here comes the rest of the field then. It's been an excellent, exciting race. Maybe not too exciting, but I love it when there's a mixture of strategies going on because it really does spice things up and change the pack around. But it has been a difficult one to commentate, not because of the action, because of the illness. So hopefully I'll be back with you 100% next week at the what race is it next week? Let me have a quick gander. It is the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. That should be very interesting indeed. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was something to look back and think, wow, what a race that was. The double kicks out the podium too, and the longer they do this, the better chance for those two in the Constructors' Championship. A rough start to the season for Glock, but if he continues like this, it should be something magical for him. I've never spoken to Glock before in a party, so I'm quite nervous to do so. Quite an intimidating guy. The young German driver once again showing delivering what he's capable of. Fantastic race from Nico Rosberg again. Glory for McLaren as they win in Bahrain, just like Oscar Piastri did this season. Of course, McLaren haven't won a race in Bahrain until Oscar Piastri did. And look at that, almost a clean sweep. Nico, Norris, and a President Elite for the first lap of the Grand Prix. There are your classifications, and Norris, congratulations for being a clean sweep and not picking up any penalties in this race. Nico Rosberg has joined me in the podium interviews. The German driver, once again, very happy. We're just waiting for Norris. And I don't think Glock has a mic, does he? And if he does, then it'll be my first ever time speaking to him, hearing his voice. Been around SFR for quite a long time. It took a few reserve driver over time. Got himself in a bit of controversy in season 14-15 as well. Had a bit of a reputation, but looks like Clark has sorted all that out and started to change things around here in SFR too. We're just waiting for Norris and Glock. But I'm going to go to the podium, I'm going to go to the toilet and be right back. I'll save the toilet for later, but I'm going to kickstart the podium interviews. I don't think Glock has a mic over here because I've not heard him speak before. But I'm going to start with you, Norris, not to keep you waiting. Norris, mate, what a fantastic drive it has been. And that two-stop strategy then from pitting lap 9 was a very early pit stop. I thought for 1 second you had to do a two-stop because you had to... sorry, I was reading Glock's comment out there in the YouTube section there. But you had to do a two-stop strategy. Pitting lap 9 was very early. And there was concerns about that too, about you trying to go towards the end of the Grand Prix, or maybe you not catching up towards the pack. Was the two-stop always the way to go for you, Norris? Was that always planned for you, or was you forced into it?
I was kind of forced into it. I did a practice race the other day, and I was able to do one stop, but for some reason my tyre wear on the mediums were absolutely astronomical. They were done for at lap 4 or something, so I just had no pace and I was going to lose DRS and everything if I kept going. And I was for some reason on 70% on lap 8, so I just had to pit. And then my pace on the hards was what I expected to have on the mediums, so that was pretty positive. And yeah, I could just push and clean air and do some fun overtaking. So yeah, that was it really.
Was you a bit concerned as well that you saw everybody doing a one-stop strategy? When you pitted onto a new set of hardcore powered tyres, did you think, oh, I might not catch up here? What was you thinking during that second stop?
Yeah, I was at the start, at the first lap something, I was a bit concerned, but then I really got into my rhythm, and I saw that I was catching quite a lot, and I was feeling quite confident, so I was just trying to just put my head down and then just take it step by step, and yeah. Eventually it worked out, yeah.
It did, mate, as well. Up to P3, almost ahead of your teammate 2 o'clock. It was like 1.8 seconds towards in the Grand Prix 2. And I think you were the only driver on the field not to pick up a penalty. So that's well deserved for you as well. Great drive with no penalties indeed. Very consistent and very quick indeed. And how do you feel for Saudi Arabia Grand Prix and all this? Because you, this season, have been on form. You won at the Chinese Grand Prix. You've got another podium added to your tally as well. You missed the Australian Grand Prix, but things started to change for you. I know in Japan, you had a bit of tired deck as well, which dropped you down the order in towards 4th or 5th place. But your pace has always been there. You've always had good pace, and you finally started to show it. But the one thing I think is letting us all down, the power players, is the tyre wear as well. So how do you think you'll fare in Saudi Arabia?
Not well. Saudi Arabia is probably one of my worst tracks. I'm guessing I'll probably crash. So we'll see. I'll give it some practice and see how it goes. But I don't have any high hopes. But I think like my main problem is the first stint. My tires just drop off massively, and after like everything from 4 to 8 laps. And then on the second stint, I have quite decent pace, but I've lost too much ground in the first stint to make up for it. And today I hit it that early that I had to make a second stop. I could have maybe gone all the way to the end on those hards, but it would be really tight, and I was really committed to the 2-stop. I was like, it's boring to just sit there and tire save, so just gonna go for it anyways. So I'm quite happy with the result and my decision. I just wish I didn't have that much deg on the first set of tires.
Also, you and Glock as well scored quite a lot of points in this race as well. How are you two connecting as well? Are you speaking to each other about strategy? Are you working together? Because we saw a bit of a heavy moment going down towards turn 4 between you, Nico, and Glock. It all got so close in towards turn 4 as well, and somehow all 3 of you made it out unscathed. So talk us through that.
Yeah, no, we haven't really talked much, but I think we have a good mutual respect. I think that moment into turn 4 was just that wasn't necessarily us trying to squabble. It was just trying to somehow stay ahead of Nico, and then we both ended up kind of going for it. I got a bit of wheel spin on the exit, so I decided to back out. But I mean, you could see that since we all made it out nice, that there is mutual respect between all 3 of us. So that's why I think we made it out nice. I don't think there was much contact or any contact at all. So yeah, I think it's a good result for the team, and yeah, me and Glock, I think will continue to do well together.
Well, thank you very much, Norwooders, and congratulations on the podium, mate. You've done a fantastic job this season. Keep it going, and it's really nice to see you have a change of fortune after the last couple of seasons.
Thank you, mate.
You're welcome. Moving on to the race winner once again, and it's Nico Rasterberg, 2 wins in a row from last to first at Japan, and once again last to first here. Well, not last, but penultimate to last to first from P16 to P1 here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Nico, mate, how do you feel about that race?
Well, it was absolutely crazy again, like in Japan. My pace was there as well. I was lucky in the first lap that many crashed and many are struggling, so I get past and spinned Yosef, but it was not my fault. So unlucky for him, to be honest, but it was a very chaotic start. Yeah, my pace was absolutely crazy. It was after 6 laps P1, and the move on the 2 kicksovers was amazing. I never did something like that, so yeah, my pace was in the full race solid, to be honest. Losing about 2 to 3 seconds in the last 3 laps or something, because I was struggling with my tires, because I was not saving it that much. So yeah, still won with I think 10 seconds or something. So yeah, very good.
Yeah, you won by a milestone, mate, as well. And you picked up penalties, 6-second penalty. And were you a bit concerned towards in the Grand Prix? Were you nervous about safety cars? Because there was a moment down towards the final corner where yellow flag came out, somebody hit the wall. So was that on the back of your mind a bit with safety cars, knowing you had a big penalty to your name?
Yeah, I saw that many were struggling, so I was scared that the safety car came out in the last laps. So when it would happen, I got fucked, to be honest, because of my 6 seconds, but yeah, it was not happening, so I'm very happy.
You should be happy. It's a fantastic drive. You made up 10th place as well for the start of the Grand Prix because you made your way through the field after that massive carnage going down towards turn 1 and towards turn 4. So congratulations once again, Nico. Fantastic pace. And how do you feel as well for the Jeddah Grand Prix?
Jeddah is one of my best tracks, to be honest. So I'm very happy to drive on that again, to be honest. Yeah, I think I will do a Last of Us again because it's funny and I can learn more to overtake and yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Nico. Fantastic drive, and that is it then for the podium interviews. The top 3, it is Nico, Glock, and Aldous, and we'll see you all at the Jeddah Grand Prix next week at 7:30 on Wednesday. And yeah, I'll be very excited for that one too because Jeddah's a high-speed circuit, of course, with plenty of invites to hit the wall as well, chances to the wall, and also the next day I'll be going to the Netherlands as well. So that's why I'll be very happy. But it is the Dutch GP this weekend at the Netherlands for Zandvoort, so I can't wait for that. And I'll see you all later too. Goodbye for now, and take care.